while we're talking about the technology, I mean, many of the people think technology is a social media right now. So do you think that the social media channel has more effect in the regulatory environment? Because as far as I get from your report, you look at the social media channel. Do you have any data about which social media channel has more effect on the regulatory environment?
We unfortunately have not looked at that so closely. But it is the case that more and more both policymakers and regulators are using social media to basically try to understand the market a little bit better. For instance, in the area when regulators are developing new policy ideas or regulations, oftentimes they'll send out basically a public consultation through social media. So they'll basically put out some, either the draft proposal itself or some variation of that, and to try to seek comments on that. I think this is a very good idea, because clearly when the government gets comments from basically industry or the community as a whole, business associations oftentimes are highly motivated and well organized to interact with governments in this policy process. But individuals, kind of on the street, they might not be quite so aware of it. So this is one way that you can really reach a much broader audience. It's still quite early, but I think there are some promising innovations in this area.
I think so. Thank you. When we're talking about the behavioral insights and the technology, social media and the technology is important in driving the behaviors of the society. So you can send messages from there. So do you think that the use of technology strengthen the effects of the behavioral insights? And did you do any cross-analysis about this effect on regulatory environment? Is there any correlation statistically significant about that?
I mean, I think you're asking sort of for a meta study on this, and unfortunately we don't have that. Though we have worked with a couple of organizations that carry out behavioral experiments, and it's and also there's a bigger body of knowledge on this. But it's certainly there's more and more evidence that by running these behavioral experiments that I mentioned earlier, you can shape policy in more creative ways. And clearly, by kind of melding behavioral insights with digitalization, where you might start to develop some machine learning or some algorithms to kind of churn through the vast quantity of publicly available data to see whether you can glean some better ideas about how the law is really hitting the ground. It's very early days in this, but again, I think it's quite promising.
Thank you.